uninterrupted electricity supply and takes a swipe at NDC government over Dumso.
My government will continue to work towards keeping the lights on, in spite of the global dynamics of energy pricing, because the alternative is not an option. We are not going back to Dumso. We'll leave that to President Mahama.
Still ahead in the bulletin, temporary traffic interruption at Flower Port roundabout on the Spintex Road in the Greater Accra region to make way for motorway flyover construction.
I spent about almost 30 minutes and then beyond. Yes. And if in the morning, a worker, you set off 5 o'clock, you spend all your days or all your hours in the traffic, the production will be.
And later in the CNR business, declining retail sales but increasing domestic VAT collection impact Ghana's economy.
The VAT collection rate should be a reflection of better sales. But if sales are flat and VAT rate is going up, it could either mean because you've increased the VAT rate, you are more efficient in collecting your tax. But whichever way you look at it, you are passing on the cost to the final consumer.
I'm grateful that you could choose us. Let's begin our bulletin now. And the Office of the Special Prosecutor has declared Charles Bisu, the former secretary to the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, wanted. This declaration follows Mr. Bisu's failure to respond to an invitation from the Special Prosecutor to appear and answer questions regarding the ongoing investigation into suspected corruption within the dissolved Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining. Meanwhile, Charles Bisu has clarified that he is not in hiding and remains within the jurisdiction of the country. He has expressed his intention to visit the Office of the Special Prosecutor to provide the necessary information requested of him.
Let me put this out there that I'm not above the law. I've always abide by the law. Hitherto, you remember the OSPS office has been there twice already within the last 5 years. I've been to the BNI and not as a suspect, but to volunteer information. I've been to the CID office several times. Sometimes I go in there and then I come out and then I actually even put documentation and write certain things for them to help them with their work. I've been with the national security and all that. So if a creature of our constitution requires that I come to see them, I don't think I would run away. It's rather unfortunate to get to this. There was a misunderstanding, and I'm not a fugitive for my photos to be advertised out there. So I'll go and visit. I'll go to the Special Prosecutor's office to do that. One other thing is that I know I am innocent. I haven't actually committed any crime. But the problem here is that, you see, the first matter that went before the OSP, that was in 2019, okay? It's dragged up until now. So people would see you as a criminal, where the investigation that I've written petitions to the OSP's office that, under Martin Amidu and then subsequently Kisi Jabin, for us to actually bring everything to a logical conclusion. But then he hasn't got into that, so we're still actually dealing with that matter.
Now, the second Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Andrew Amakwesiama, has tasked the Defence and Interior and Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee to institute a joint probe into the killing of 5 suspected land guards by the police. This follows a demand by the Member of Parliament for the area, Sylvester Tete, and other lawmakers for Parliament to constitute an inquiry into the matter. 5 people suspected to be land guards were killed on June 8 following during an anti-robbery and land guard operation in Botiano. According to the police, the suspects have been terrorizing residents and homeowners in Botiano and nearby communities. Citi News' parliamentary correspondent Ni Aikwe Okain has more.
The police, in an anti-land guard and anti-robbery operations at Botiano and 8 adjoining communities on June 8, 2023, shot and killed 5 suspected land guards in the area. According to the police, these individuals have been terrorizing residents and landowners of the community. But in a statement on the floor of Parliament on Tuesday, the Member of Parliament for the area, Sylvester Tete, denied the involvement of such individuals in the act and called on Parliament to conduct a probe into the matter.
On behalf of my constituents, we are calling on Parliament to institute an inquiry into the matter because the chiefs and people of Botiano and Kokrobite have rejected the claim by the police. We believe strongly that an inquiry could bring out the truth of this matter and bring calm to the people of my constituency. I will also urge the people of Botiano, Kokrobite, and the surrounding communities to remain calm and continue to be law-abiding as we allow the competent, relevant state agencies to take up the matter and ascertain the veracity or otherwise of the claim.
If it is indeed true that the 5 persons were actually involved in land guard related activities, was or to attempt to apprehend them and bring them to justice. Mr. Speaker, I think that the proper thing that ought to have been done in the circumstances was for the police to have attempted to apprehend the suspects, because our criminal jurisprudence is grounded on the presumption of innocence, and that presumption now the members of the community are saying that to be involved in related activities. Sun winning is not the same as land guard related activities, Mr. Speaker.
The police have their own internal mechanisms in dealing with wayward officers. They call it the service inquiry, where the police themselves will constitute a panel to embark upon some of these inquiries. Madam Speaker, I beg to submit that half the time is self-serving. It's like you want to call upon one witch to expel another witch. You know, it's difficult. Then they have a new set of individuals, members of parliament, probing the matter. And that is when the members of parliament can finger waywardness in the name of policing, and then deal with the officers who, by every calculation, may be responsible for unlawful killings of individuals.
It's becoming one repetitive. So we are making the referral to the Committee of Defense and Interior, and we are asking leadership of constitutional and parliamentary affairs to also join the Defense and Interior Committee to look into this matter and report back by the end of this month. Rankin, you are here. I'm giving timelines. By the end of this month, we should have the report so that Parliament can take appropriate action on that.
A member of the Mines and Energy Committee of Parliament, Paul Chumberima, also affirmed comments made by the World Bank Country Director to Ghana, Pierre-Frank Laporte, that some power purchase agreements signed by the Mahama government is contributing to the current economic crisis due to the huge debt that was accrued as a result of these agreements in the energy sector.
As we speak, between 2017 to 2020, we've paid over 12 billion cedis. That's how much we've paid in PPA's agreement. Until recently, that there were some negotiations and some of them agreed to go. We were paying almost $1 billion every year. And you are telling us that it's not part of our economic challenges? I think we should commend the World Bank director for saying what is the reality. It's an open secret that yes, our PPAs has had a lot of enormous, impact on our economy. And we should not be shy of it that, yes, the NDC government should take responsibility and rather come back to Ghana and tell them that they were doing it for our good, but rather they could have done it properly and not come back and make it look as if the World Bank director should be called out and we say, no, I don't think so.
Reporting from Parliament, my name is Ni Ayukwe Okain for Citi News.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has reaffirmed the government's dedication to ensuring a consistent and reliable electricity supply despite the global fluctuations in energy pricing. He emphasized the current administration's determination to avoid a return to the era of intermittent power supply, famously known as Dumsor, which prevailed during former President John Dramani Mahama's tenure. Now, the president made these remarks during the inauguration of the Accra Central Bulk Supply Point, a $40 million project funded by Japan, designed to serve the central business district of Accra and its surrounding areas. Here's more from Citi News' Daniel Sakite, as narrated by Citi News' Charles Usukumi.
Ghana's energy sector has faced a number of challenges, including intermittent power supply. But speaking at the commissioning of a $40 million Japanese-funded Accra Central Bulk Supply Point, President Akufo-Addo highlighted the significance of constant and stable electricity supply, saying it is critical to every country's industrialization agenda in the 21st century. To this end, the president said the commissioning of the Accra Central Bulk Supply Point has come to augment the energy needs of the Central Business District of Accra and the country at large, while indicating that the government remains committed to ensuring the lights are kept on to prevent a return to the days of intermittent power supply under former President John Mahama.
Amongst others are 1. To reduce transmission and distribution losses. 2. Ensure high reliability of electricity supply. And 3. Ensure a high level of personnel safety. Now, with the operationalization of the Accra Central Bulk Supply Project, power voltages have become stable, protecting valuable equipment. Power supply reliability has improved. I want to reassure all of you that my government will continue to work towards keeping the lights on, in spite of the global dynamics of energy pricing, because the alternative is not an option. We are not going back to Dumsor. We'll leave that to President Mahama. I'm convinced and confident that our nation is on the right path. Despite our challenges and with God on our side, I have the firm belief that we shall succeed in this enterprise.
Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, also speaking at the event, stressed that intermittent power supply, otherwise known as Dumsor, will never happen under the tenure of President Akufo-Addo. The sector minister said the commissioning of the Accra Central Bulk Supply Point will enable constant power supply to the Central Business District of Accra, which he describes as the economic powerhouse of Ghana.
This commissioning happens to come after the Pokuase Bulk Supply Point, the Kaswa Bulk Supply Point, and today the Accra Central Bulk Supply Points. These projects have brought immeasurable relief to the catchment areas by addressing low voltage and power outage challenges caused by increasing industrial and domestic demand. Mr. President, I'm honored to serve in your government, a president who firmly believes in Ghana and realizing Ghana's potential. As the Ministry of Energy, we are focused on a few things to ensure we keep the lights on and to ensure we keep Ghana moving. Mr. President, we take it seriously as a gospel and would ensure that under your watch, fuel will not short, and do so will be a thing in history books of this country.
For Gridco Board Chairman, Ambassador Cabral Blay Amehe, the Accra Central Box Supply Point will be a game changer in the country's power supply sector.
This substation and the 3 latest ones we have commissioned and several ongoing and planned projects by Gridco would undoubtedly be a game changer for a sustainable power delivery in the country. I wish to use the occasion to inform all gathered here today that this August shall mark 15 years since Gridco started operations as the nation's sole transmission company. Hopefully, we shall use the occasion to celebrate, but more importantly, to reflect on our journey so far and the future.
Meanwhile, Japanese ambassador to Ghana, Mochizuki Hisanobu, has entreated the country to maintain the facility which has been commissioned.
When Japan supports a project such as this, it's because we are thinking about the transformative power of electricity and the potential it holds for Ghana's future. In view of this, I'd like to encourage all of you to make sure this facility is managed and maintained well to support inclusive and sustainable development for all.
In more stories, the Department of Urban Roads, acting on behalf of the Ministry of Roads and Highways, has officially declared the temporary interruption of vehicular traffic at the southern approach of the Flower Port roundabout. This interruption will be effective from June 13 to October 31, 2023, and is necessary to facilitate the construction progress of the motorway flyover. There is more in this report filed by Citi News' Philip Nilati.
What is happening here is the construction of the superstructure from the East Legon, which is going to cross or going to be beyond the motorway connecting to Mahama Runabout here at the project site, and also the construction of piers and columns. Ministry of Roads and Highways, through the Department of Urban Roads, has served notice that, well, motorists must adhere to the road signs, and also police officers will be stationed here to ensure that there is free flow of traffic.
The Department of Urban Roads in the statement noted that routes such as east and westbound of Spintex Road, Bema Camp Road from Gifford Road, and east and westbound of Mantechu Road will be affected. The department has also outlined a number of diversions to ease the traffic situation, which includes the following. Traffic from Galaxy Oil or Shell Fuel Station to motorway shall go straight along the Bank of Ghana wall. Traffic from Accra Mall to motorway shall go around the runabout by turning left onto the Bank of Ghana Road and head towards the motorway. Traffic from Spintex Old Road or Melcombe to motorway shall make a right turn on reaching the runabout onto the Bank of Ghana Road. Traffic from Accra Mall or Oak Plaza to Palace Mall or Bema Camp or Major Mahama Runabout shall turn right on reaching the Palace Mall runabout. Traffic from Bema Camp and Major Mahama Runabout to Palace Mall and Accra Mall shall join traffic to Spintex from Bema Camp, but shall make a left turn on reaching the main Mantechu Road. Meanwhile, drivers can use the following alternative routes. Motorists traveling from Spintex Road to the motorway can use the Achimota Ofankor Road or the Airport Tema motorway. Motorists traveling from Bema Camp Road to the motorway can use the 37 Military Hospital Road or the English Amanfro Road. Motorists traveling from Mantechu Road to the motorway can use the Teshi Nungwa Road or the Nungwa Beach Road. Anodedu is the resident engineer on the motorway flyover project.
We are implementing a traffic management plan so that construction of the flyover from the Flower Port across the motorway into East Legon can be carried out. At the moment, the contractor is working towards Palace Mall area, going down to the road leading down to Mahama Roundabout, where there was a traffic light at the Palace Mall. That is where work is concentrated now. So that is why we've had to implement certain traffic management measures so that traffic can flow and while the contractor is working. Together with the Flower Port Roundabout, work is going on the main route from Flower Port Roundabout towards the Mahama Roundabout, and on the opposite side towards the motorway. So certain diversions have been put in place, certain roads, certain access have been blocked. That is what is happening at the moment. So we would plead with road users, mostly the motorists, to look out for directions and signs and also be patient.
But how will this vehicular traffic here affect motorists?
I just wish the projects could be fast enough, because the traffic here, I've been in the traffic for almost an hour now. So I just wish it could finish early, so that at least we could be going.
So traffic from 1 hour, you are moving from where to where?
So I was moving from I think there is a roundabout, the cemetery, from the Mahama roundabout to, I'm going to East Legon. Yeah, so and I'm still in the traffic. We just have to adjust ourselves to it. Yeah. So I think that's the best option. We could just adjust ourselves to it and plead with the authorities if it could be fast-tracked. Waking up early would be one of the solutions, but I woke up early. I live in a slum down. I wake up early, but most of the times, most of my work routine is through this lane. So you might wake up early, but within the day, you still have to come and face the same thing. So
it should be fast.
It should be fast.
It will ease traffic, though. But I was from Major Mahama Roundabout, heading towards East Legon. I spent about almost 30 minutes and then beyond. Yes. And if in the morning, a worker, you set off 5 o'clock, you spend all your days or all your hours in the traffic, the production will be low. Even though I will gain, but I must also work for my employer to also get whatever he deserves for me. If I spend all the hours, all the energy in traffic, you go to office and then you'll be tired.
But this is going to happen for like the next 4 or 5 months. This is how the
government will lose. Production will lose.
So what do you want government to do about it?
Government should speed up and then they should give us more exit routes.
Okay. As you approach this particular sport as a motorist, it behoves on you to obey the traffic or the road signs in order not to be frustrated by the vehicular traffic here. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Philippe Latte.
This is still the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. Still to come. Minister of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development Dan Bochi issues warning to MMDCEs who fail to properly utilize allocated funds for desilting works in their respective areas. We have details coming up shortly. Please do stay.
This is Esther, an 11-year-old girl who finds herself living with an abusive father.
There is always another way. Protect the child.
Who can save me from this physical abuse?
There is always another way. Protect the child.
Every child deserves to be treated with love, respect, and dignity. Smacking, slapping, spanking children with a hand or with an element such as a whip, stick, belt, shoe, wooden spoon, etc. is physical abuse. It can also involve, for example, kicking, shaking or throwing children, scratching, pinching, burning, scalding a child. Physical abuse destroys the confidence and self-esteem of children.
I feel safe and loved.
Let's be Ghanaians against child abuse. Say no to physical abuse. Be a GAPA.
My name is Tina. I am a person living with HIV. I got to know my HIV status after I gave birth and lost the child because of HIV. In those days, prevention of mother-to-child transmission services had low patronage due to fear and stigmatization. Today, many HIV-positive women have delivered negative children. I follow the guidelines and take my HIV medicine called ARVs every day, as prescribed by my doctor. This makes me strong and healthy, and also prevent me from passing HIV onto any future child. Please avail yourself for PMTCT services when pregnant. It is the only way to ensure you do not pass the HIV onto your baby during birth or pregnancy. If you have tested for HIV recently and it was negative, test again when pregnant to ensure baby and mother are well. Let us work together to have an HIV-free generation.
You're welcome back to the City Newsroom. Let's do more stories now. The National Food Suppliers Association has suspended its planned picketing at the premises of the Food Buffer Stock Company. Now, the group had initially intended to protest due to government's failure to settle outstanding arrears owed to them for over 2 years now. However, after engaging with various stakeholders, the Food Suppliers Association has decided to suspend the protest. There is more in this report.
The National Food Suppliers Association is responsible for supplying food to the National Food Buffer Stock Company, which plays a crucial role in serving secondary schools, particularly under the government's free senior high school program. The working relationship between these two entities involves a process where the buffer stock takes time to clear invoices from the food suppliers due to the necessary bureaucratic procedures and checks before funds are released from the Finance Ministry. Consequently, it is not unusual for the buffer stock to have outstanding debts to food suppliers. However, on this occasion, the food suppliers claim that the accumulated debt of 200 million Ghana cedis has been unresolved for an extended period. After issuing a 14-day ultimatum to government, the food suppliers were prepared to picket at the premises of the buffer stock company until the government intervened.
Yesterday, we had a meeting or had an engagement with officials of the buffer stock and officials of the Ministry of Education and that of Ministry of Finance. They gave us assurances that the processes have been initiated to ensure that our monies are paid to us. But we insisted that those promises have been given on several occasions which turned out not to be fruitful. So we wanted some documentary evidence to show or to be convinced that they have actually ignited the process to get us paid. And so they show us some documents to the effect that they have instructed Controller and Accountant General to give us our money. We also know that taking money from government coffers, it will take some procedures and processes. We are only happy that at least some processes have been initiated. We hope that what we've been told ends up to be the case. We've given government 2 weeks ultimatum again to get us the money.
Kweku Amedu, a representative of the food suppliers, warned that if the government fails to fulfill its promise again, the group will be compelled to resume their protest.
If government fails to honor its commitment in 2 weeks, we will cross it when we get to that bridge. But for now, we have been shown something, and so we want to give the government the benefit of the doubt. And we have called off our intentions to pick it. But if government feels, we will advise ourselves as to what to do next.
Now, the Minister in charge of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, Dan Butchie, has issued a stern warning to Metropolitan, Municipal and District Chief Executives, MMDCEs, who fail to properly utilize allocated funds for desilting works in their respective areas. This warning came during the Minister's visit to the MMAs that are beneficiaries of the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development GARID project. Here is more from Citi News' Rachel Engman and read to you by Charles Osukumi.
Minister Dan Butchie has embarked on a 5-day working visit to assess the progress of distilling works in flood-prone areas within the beneficiary metropolitan and municipal assemblies of the Greater Accra Resilient and Integrated Development GARID project. Each assembly has received a total grant of 420,000 cedis this year as part of the project's efforts to improve the management and maintenance of drains along the Odo River. The minister's tour began on June 12, 2023, starting with the Ablekuma West, Ablekuma North and Ablekuma Central municipalities. However, during the visit to Ablekuma North municipality, the assembly officials claimed that work was ongoing, which was contradicted by a flood report provided by Citi News.
That's why you don't need cement. Let somebody read it.
Citi News,
have your see the weeds in the drainage. 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Charles Osukumi, report.
In response to this, the Municipal Chief Executive of Ablekuma North, Kofi Fori, explained that work would commence on Tuesday, June 13, 2023, citing a delay due to a procurement exercise.
Believe in good work than to rush. I say because you are coming in 2 weeks' time. Because when you started today and it's released tomorrow, what do? We say because you are coming. So what can we do? So let's pray to God that He give us good weather. So that from tomorrow when we start, by 2 weeks time, by the time you come in, whatever you want to see, that is what you come and meet. But wherever we have reached, what the place.
We've not seen any machinery anywhere.
Work going on.
Yes.
But we have not started. So how do you see work going?
No, like nothing. Yes. Any preparedness, any preparations being made.
The word is we are starting
tomorrow.
Including the
Don't worry. When you come here tomorrow, then we have started. Today, we haven't started. So you will see it. Which one is the simple? This one here. That is simple.
No, including within
grasses. You said we are starting the work. You came here for the work. We are starting the work tomorrow. Let's exercise patience. Tomorrow, and we
what took you so long?
Yes, because we are doing procurement, and we can't read the procurement law. We can't just start because you want to come here and then read the law, and we'll be called to answer.
So money was disbursed 31st March. So date you have not started
procurement. I said we were doing procurement.
On the second day of the minister's tour, the team visited the Korle Klote, Accra Metropolitan Assembly, and Okankwe North. Unfortunately, the situation at the Korle Klote and Accra Metropolitan Assembly was far from satisfactory. In one instance, residents clashed with workers assigned by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to the silt drains in the North Kaneshie Mukosi electoral area. The residents alleged that they were forced to pay 300 cedis by an assembly member for work that was not done, and that the Accra Metropolitan Assembly officials were taking credit for it.
So it wasn't the AMA officials that. So it wasn't the AMA officials. It wasn't the AMA that desilted the gutters. Oh wow.
Responding to the residents' claims, Richard Odro, the Director of Planning at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, assured that the matter would be thoroughly investigated.
We just have to investigate.
But I won't be surprised because from time to time you have residents and individuals who will organize certain individuals or group to do some private exercise for them. So maybe this one could be one of those private, works that they engage those individuals and groups to do for them. Because we have funds enough to do the distance. And when we went out, we saw the work we are doing. So it's an allegation. It's a weight against the assembly member. Moving forward, well, it has come to our notice. So we'll forward this to management and then we'll do further.
At the end of the second day of the Minister of Local Government tour, it was noted that Okankwe North Municipal Assembly effectively utilized the allocated funds to combat floods in contrast to other assemblies.
I'm satisfied with what I've seen so far. I'm hoping that the next 11 assemblies that we visit from tomorrow to Friday. After that, the technical team from the ministry and the Gary team will put a report together where we have to write to sanction or to bring those who have not lived at the we are going to do that. And as I said, the staff, they fall under the local government service. We shall refer them to the local government service.
Minister Danboche revealed that a comprehensive report would be compiled at the end of the 5-day tour, identifying metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives who have failed to fulfill their duties despite receiving 420,000 cedis for flood prevention. Non-performing MMDCEs may face sanctions as a result.
This is still the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV with me, Kwaku. Ediamans are still ahead. Nanumba North Municipal Assembly provides furniture at Makayili Primary School after Citi News report. Details coming up shortly.
Anyone can become a house owner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. You go Flip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
You're welcome back to the Citi Newsroom. Let's head up north because after Citi News reported on the insufficient furniture at Makayili Primary School in the Nanumba North Municipality, where students were observed lying on their bellies for teaching and learning, the Nanumba North Municipal Assembly has stepped in and provided furniture for the school. The teachers at the school are grateful to Citi News for highlighting their challenge, which resulted in this intervention. Mohammed M. Alabira, our Northern Regional Correspondent, visited the school and has this report.
2 weeks ago, Citi News covered the furniture situation at Makayili Primary School, where students were seen lying on their bellies on the bare floor during classes. The teachers expressed difficulties in teaching and learning because the students couldn't actively participate in the process. Additionally, parents complained that their children's uniform were getting dirty almost every day. As a result, some students started skipping school because they couldn't wash their uniforms in time. Citi News report caught the attention of the Municipal Assembly, prompting the MCE to promise a resolution to the challenge. Last Friday, the Assembly provided around 90 dual decks to the school to address the problem. When Citi News revisited the school on Monday, significant changes were evident, and the teachers were full of praise for Citi News. Mr. Dasana Salfu, the head teacher of Makayele Primary School, expressed his gratitude to Citi News.
I'm most grateful. Some 2-3 weeks ago, Citi TV came to cover a story for lack of furniture. And today, I can stand on authority that it has yielded a positive result. The Assembly has been able to give us about 90 dual desks. I thank Mr. Alabre and Citi TV too so much for the good work they have done for the school. Like Oliver Twist always say, we still need more.
There was another report about certain individuals in the community using the classrooms as restrooms. The head teacher pleaded with the Member of Parliament for the area and Defense Minister to assist them. He mentioned that if teachers were provided with quarters to stay in, the issue of people defecating in the classrooms will cease.
Our defecation has not yet been completed, and one major factor of it is we are making a passionate appeal, most especially to our Honourable Member of Parliament, to help renovate our head teachers' quarters and that of the teachers' quarters. If teachers are around, I believe with regards to the defecation, we'll be able to fight it.
The Municipal Chief Executive for Nanumba North, Honorable Abdullah Yakub, also commended Citi News for reporting on the challenges faced by the schools. He added that the Assembly is still working to address the furniture situation in the municipality.
I want to thank your station for airing the problem of what Makayele Primary. It's not a problem that I was not aware of, but it was just that the resources of the Assembly was not enough to be able to provide furniture for all schools. We have over 100 basic schools in the municipality, and we do the furniture as and when we get our funding. So when the documentary was aired, luckily for us, we had received some furniture from the Ministry of Local Government, and we also did some. So we've given Makayele Primary at least some number of furniture. We've given them about 90 pieces of dual decks. That will cater for about 180 students in the meantime. And we are expected to still receive about 200 pieces, together with what the Assembly have also constructed.
Regarding the issue of people defecating in the classrooms, the MCE took the opportunity to urge community members to be vigilant and report any unscrupulous individuals engaging in such acts.
I want to also use this medium to appeal to those who go to the school to ease themselves. I met the members of the school management committee, and they told us what the measures that they had put in place. But it appears that the measures they put in place is not yielding results because the problem still persists. So I spoke to the chief of the village to see to it that they collaborate by forming these neighborhood watchdog committees. I know they have brought their names for those people to be trained so that they can help in policing the area. Normally those people do it in the night, so that I will see whether the problem can be resolved. And another thing is, at times they lock the classrooms and they break in. They break into the classrooms. That's what saddens me. Well, if there are no doors, you say that, oh, because the classrooms don't have doors. Doors are there, then it is locked, and then they come and break the padlocks and then go in and do those things. So I want to appeal to those of us living in Makayele to also be watchdogs. They should also put an eye on the school, because the school is theirs, so that this particular problem will be resolved.
Several parents in the community couldn't contain their joy regarding the intervention.
They're now sitting on the furnitures. But the other time they were sitting on the ground. When they just came to the school and they returned back, you see the clothes and the uniforms will get dirty. Yeah, so we are so grateful on that.
This is still the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. Up next is CNR Business with Nashika Caesar.
Hello and welcome to CNR Business. My name is Nashika Caesar. Now, retail sales in the country keep declining, but domestic VAT collection continue to increase according to data from the Bank of Ghana. This trend has had an impact on other sub-sectors of the economy. CNR Business has been explaining these high-frequency economic indicators as captured in the Central Bank's summary of the economic data for May 2023.
The rate at which the domestic VAT collection is increasing is much higher than the rate at which businesses are selling at the retail level. So the gradient for the VAT collection curve is much steeper. This is good for the country in terms of revenue collection. So eventually you're going to have lower purchases. So you'd essentially expect the VAT rate to be a reflection of the retail sales rate. But if the VAT, what I mean is that the VAT collection rate should be a reflection of better sales. But if sales are flat and VAT rate is going up, it could either mean because you increase the VAT rate, you are more efficient in collecting your tax. But whichever way you look at it, you are passing on the cost to the final consumer. So our analysis this morning on the breakfast show suggests that this will not boost economic growth. The government will meet its revenue target in the short term. But if you have a flat retail sales curve and your VAT rate is that high, you're going to have people opt for lower things to buy. Now, when you compare that data to another data set in that same statistics, which is called the CIEA, the Composite Index of Economic Activity, again, that's low. It's trending downwards, right? From January 2021, it went up by June 2021. It's been coming all the way down. It's below zero. That tells you that economic growth is going to struggle. When we compare the March data to the May data, things are picking up. So, for example, if you take things like cement sales, it's been trending downwards since the beginning of 2021. But from March, it started trending upwards. Again, port traffic started trending upwards from March. So there's some shifts in the economy. It looks like, in fact, the currency itself strengthened a bit in March as well. So you can say it looks like we are turning a corner. We hope the trend continues, because if you look at all the data you have, apart from things like industry consumption of electricity, contributions to SNIT, and passenger arrivals, those are the three things that are trending upwards. Everything else is trending downwards. And those that are trending upwards are good.
Now, government has disbursed 14 million Ghana cedis to 48 companies under the One District, One Factory initiative through the Ghana Exim Bank. The 1D1F program aims at assisting the private sector to establish at least one manufacturing enterprise in each of the 261 districts across the country to drive industrialization. Sector Minister Katie Hammond has been speaking on the floor of Parliament.
Champion Food Industries Limited for 247,537.27. CH Global 16,500. Plot Commodities 891 cities 960.39. GKV investments 33,147.57. This makes a total of 14,407,808 cities, 3 pence. Mr. Speaker, the ministry had in about March 2022 inadvertently stated to this House that indeed 60 IDF companies had been supported by Ghana Exim Bank. Mr. Speaker, a further appreciation of the facts and analysis of the various companies and the figures dispersed showed that it was not 60 but 48 companies. And the ministry renders an unqualified apology to the House for the...
The head of SMEs at Absa Bank, Audrey Abaka, has stated that one cannot be an SME-focused bank if they do not create their lending framework policies to support the growth of businesses in the country. The following report will give you highlight of what Audrey Abaka and other panelists on the Citi Business Festival have been saying. The second edition of the 2023 Citi Business Festival CBF Forum took place on Tuesday, with panelists sharing their insights on what strategies small and medium enterprises (SMEs) can adopt to grow and expand their businesses. Speaking during the CBF Forum, the head of SMEs at Absa Bank, Audrey Abaka, encouraged startups to take advantage of the bank's support for SMEs to develop their businesses.
SME having been able to structure the business, to the extent that banks like us will be interested in you. That is engaging in proper business practices, like, having a proper governance, in place. You have, your administrative set up. You have a proper records of your financials.
On how to transform one's business, a lecturer at the Graduate School of Business of UPSA, Dr. Andrew Sayuku, urged businesses to understand the competitive nature of the market to stay relevant and be profitable.
You see a lot of businesses that have collapsed because they want to sell to everybody. No. And like what she said, you need to identify the customer profile. And now, Ghanaians, their attitude and their personality, they don't have money, but the kind of phones they use, they don't have money, but they will purchase your products.
This year's edition of the Citi Business Festival is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM in partnership with Absa and proudly sponsored by MTN Momo, MTN Business and ZPay with support from Gesal. And that's all for CNR Business. My name is Nashika Caesar.
And that's it for today's edition of the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. Before we go, a recap of our headlines. Former Secretary to Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Charles Bisu, declared wanted by Special Prosecutor. Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee urged to launch joint probe into killing of suspected land guards by police. Also, President Akufo-Addo assures of uninterrupted electricity supply and takes a swipe at the NDC government over doing so. Also, temporary traffic interruption at Flower Port roundabout on the Spintex Road in the Greater Accra region to make way for motorway flyover construction. Now, for more stories, do log on to our website, citinewsroom.com, which has more information on our top stories and more. Also, subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. My name is Kweku Ediama, and so many thanks for your company.